Hello, I'm Tom Dalzell, Business Manager of IBEW Local 1245. In this video, I hope to give you an overview and a better understanding of the efforts that we've undertaken in the last 5 or 6 years to reach out to our younger members and to develop a core of trained and experienced member organizers and campaigners. Two things happened that changed our way of looking at things and doing things.
As the recession of 2008 took its toll on the American economy, our retirees at Nevada Energy were among the first to feel the impacts. In 2009, the company unilaterally capped its contributions to retiree medical premiums. These retirees had worked long careers with Sierra Pacific and then Nevada Energy, expecting fully paid retiree medical premiums. With the stroke of a CEO's pen, that promise was broken.
Our retirees at NV Energy came roaring to life. We held rallies and candlelight vigils in Reno and Las Vegas. We held our first informational picket line in 60 years against NV Energy. We organized support from community and faith leaders in Nevada. We took our cause to both social and traditional media. When CEO Mike Yakir went to New York to receive an award, we followed him. With the help of our brothers and sisters from IBEW Local 3 and the culinary workers, hundreds of pickets joined our retirees in greeting Yakira with a noisy and spirited picket line. As a result of our efforts, we were able to establish a new framework for retiree medical, a framework which has left our retiree medical benefits restored. As our retired members launched the type of campaign that we knew we would need elsewhere in the future, Local 1245 turned its attention to its young members. In 2009, we finally started to do something instead of just talking about the need to engage our young members. Simply put, we started reaching out to our younger members and explaining what the union has done and could do for them.
The 2009 PG&E benefits negotiations and 2010 PG&E clerical negotiations gave Local 1245 the chance to bring new, younger members onto the negotiating committee. The clerical negotiations turned ugly early, with company proposals for a 2-tier wage for customer service representatives and for the right to contract out 25% of customer calls.
Our young members did just what our retired members in Reno had done. They came roaring to life. We organized a strong grassroots campaign against the company proposals, and we prevailed.
Convinced of the need to have trained campaigners and to reach out to younger members, Local 1245 launched a training program for activists. Veteran organizers Fred Ross and Eileen Purcell led the training, drawing on Gilbert Padilla, a national leader of the United Farm Workers in the 1960s and 1970s, former Secretary of Labor Robert Reich, and Stanford University history professor Clay Carson.
Classroom training can only go so far. We've all seen airline flight simulators. Well, there might be such thing as a flight simulator, but there is no such thing as a fight simulator. The only real way to learn how to work in a campaign is to work in a campaign. We looked around and identified some of the toughest fights that labor was having in the United States and parachuted our activists in to help and to learn.
Local 1245's activists in training took part in labor-led campaigns in Florida, Ohio, and Wisconsin. When the Anchorage City Council enacted an ordinance that would forbid collective bargaining for IBEW Local 1547 members, Local 1245 sent its activists up to help gather signatures to place the issue on the ballot.
The fight came home to California before we thought it would. In 2012, big money anti-union interests placed a union-busting measure on the ballot.
Proposition 32 would have gutted the ability of unions to spend money on political issues. Local 1245 at this point had more than 30 trained activists who worked on the No on 32 campaign and were part of an historic victory over the Koch brothers and their ilk. Training and development and outreach have continued and grown. Local 1245's executive board formally created the position of organizing steward, and several classes of organizing stewards have been sworn in at advisory council meetings.
The 2014 midterm elections were difficult for organized labor. We saw battles around the country that were important and which gave us a chance to send our activists out for more real-life, real-time training.
In 2014, Local 1245 organizing stewards took part with organized labor in campaigns in Maine, Pennsylvania, Kansas, Colorado, Louisiana, and Alaska. In California, more than 20 organizing stewards helped our members elect union-friendly candidates in the cities of Lompoc, Redding, Alameda, and Oakland, as well as the Merced Irrigation District. Organizing stewards have been central in several traditional union organizing drives as well. 2 traveled to Illinois to help a sister IBEW local win an organizing drive at a Greenlee manufacturing plant, and a number of organizing stewards helped lead Local 1245's successful organizing drive at Sun Optics in Sacramento. Organizing stewards have also organized and led social events that bring Local 1245 members and their families together for bowling tournaments, softball tournaments, and soccer tournaments. All of these instill in our members a sense of community, of union.
We now have more than 40 trained, experienced organizing stewards, and their ranks are growing and will continue to grow. What do we have to show for this investment in our young activist members? Well, we've been recognized by the IBEW, by the State Federation of Labor, and the National AFL-CIO for having a cutting-edge program. That's not why we do this, but it's nice to be recognized. We now have friends around the country who would be here to help us in a heartbeat. If we were in a fight for our lives, our friends from Maine to Florida to Alaska would be here with us. Most of all, we have another arrow in our quiver. We have the ability to launch a ground game campaign on a moment's notice. Whether it's a problem with one of our employers, a competitive challenge to the utility industry, or an outside attack on organized labor, we're ready to fight. For me, having trained and experienced warriors in the wings is a no-brainer. It was the right thing to do, and it's a smart thing to do. We're proud of the program, and we'll continue building it. Living in the world in which we live, I don't intend to sit back and wait for others to attack. I want to be ready, and we are ready. It's the smart thing to do.